API. So here also you can see same like for more than 5,000 items, how we are getting at the URL itself. First, we are passing, we are restricting it like not exceeding more than 5,000 items. So items dollar top equals the number maximum 5,000 we can give. Okay. Below to that, if you see, they are passing that value and again calling that method. If data dot d dot this next, if it is there, it will get that next URL and automatically calling the parent method. This is a recursive method. They'll say calling the methods recursively. We will handle in this add limit in URL using top equal to 5,000. Then call the method recursively. Recursive in the sense calling the parent same method inside. Okay, see, this is the function. Get list items is the function name. So inside the function itself, you are calling the same method name. That's the recursive function. So till it get complete, so each time it will be loop. This is something called like while loop only. So till it reaches that end point in that list, it will again and again loop and it will execute. Okay, that's the purpose of adding this if condition. Okay, new this URL. You go through it. Okay, you can see nothing is there in the Ajax. They are passing URL and method type get and header accept JSON and success method. Same. What this one and they are giving something response start contact. I mean, in the response variable, they are concatenating the existing result, the whatever result is coming in that particular loop. Okay. After that, this loop, you can this is something you can do your own business logic. Okay. This is the one to execute recursively. If data dot d dot underscore next, if it is next variable is next value is there, we are finding that getting that URL and passing it and calling the get list items method. That's it. Okay, this is simple only.
That if condition means if there is any data next to that list item, then only it will
Yes, then
call the
only
data.
it will form this URL and it will call this method. If there is no item, it won't come inside this if loop.
Okay.
Okay, say for there are 12,500 items means we are giving 5,000 in the top. First time it will check it is only 5,000, so again it will execute. Second time also it will see, so only 10,000 we have retrieved, 2,500 are there. Third time it will call this method and retrieve 2,500 items and add here. Fourth time it won't go inside this if loop, automatically it come out of this if loop. Okay. That's it. Creating web API also something will see you. I created this application for one of my friend. There I'll show you how we create the APIs. Your this API we have created using MVC pattern. Okay, when you find time, you go through MVC as well. So MVC in the sense model view controller. Okay, mm, view. I'll tell you overall. View is the one here will be having UI. Whatever the HTML design we will be doing, in the UI will be doing it. Controller will be doing backend process. Backend process model is to communicate between view and controller. Communicate. It's like some predefined fields and methods, whatever there, we will be declare in the model. So the declared variables we will be using in both view and controller. Okay. So this is the MVC. Um, if you see, you can see controller is there, views and model. Okay, so for each controller there will be separate views. Okay, in a user controller, if you see, there is a separate view for user. Index reports users, the separate folder users in that login.cshtml separate view there. So if I expand user dot login.cshtml, you can see that login page default page is defined here. Okay, whatever we are going to display, the same pattern you can see. HTML head body. Okay, and the head you can see whatever the jQuery JavaScript you want to refer, you need to add it here. Okay, you can either add any third party JavaScript, or if you write your own JavaScript files, that also we would have written. So home.js. So home.js is the one we will be calling in that home.index.csv. See home.js we refer. Okay, so it will be in same pattern. And this is about the view. Views something like full of HTML related content. If we go to this controller, here we'll be doing actual functionality what we need to do when we after getting the input from the UI. Okay, so I'll show you common controller, that is like it will be like API. Okay, so when you write the API, that class name first. So these things and all you are familiar, right? So first we'll be defining what are the namespaces we need. After that, we'll be giving our own namespace and class name. Okay, this class should inherit API controller class. Okay. Creating API class should inherit API controller class. Okay. After inheriting only, you can mention these two parameter. Okay, this is HTTP get we have given. HTTP get means, so and the API I told you, right, get, post, delete, different types,
Yes, yes.
get, post, delete, and those things like. So the kind of method which what it is, that one we are mentioning here, HTTP get or HTTP post, whatever, delete, all the put all the options you can mention here. Okay, whatever the option you want to mention, you mention. And route is the method, the actual URL, how we need to pass. So in the SharePoint, we saw something like list.svc, we saw, right? API underscore, for search underscore API search query, its URL we are forming like this, right? So same way how our API URL, that one we are defining here. API common selected item. Okay, like this we in the our own API URL will be okay, and this is the actual method what we have written, and what are the parameter we need to pass to this method. We'll be getting it in the method here, that we can pass it as a query string. Okay, get selected month data. Okay, so so this is some one of the simple get API that we have written and given response in the normal JSON format only. That's why it's HTTP response message format. So it will be in a JSON format only. Okay. If I see control F, I search custom. See here, I'm calling that method. Okay. So get calendar data. So what are the data available for that particular month? So for that, AP selected date, start date and end date I'm passing. There is no value I'm passing. So our default value seems. So method get on success method, what we need to do. So all the operations I'm doing in the success method, I'm getting particular controller, there I'm passing the value we are getting. That's the operation I'm doing here. Okay, error message. I'm displaying the error message. That's it. Okay, so this will be the actual API call, whichever API you are using. So same way it will be. You can write your own. If you go to controller, add new REST API client. No, controller is there. new controller. So MVC controller with rewrite action. So whatever entity framework use like database related activity which they can do. Okay. So if you see web API to controller, you can see empty default controller again. Remove controller. This controller word should be there. This for easy understanding. Okay, if you create, you can see by default namespace came, and by default class name is appeared here, and it is inheriting API controller class. Okay, so inside this you can write your own API methods. Okay, and that's the process for creating API. If you this web.config, and if you want to have some values, you can place it in the web.config. Okay, just go through MVC pattern. Okay, that is like very large one. You just understand how it works. Okay, from where it starts, how to execute, and what is the how the connection between model view and controller and all happening. You try to create your own MVC, some default MVC application, and try to execute. It will give some default template output, right? In that, try to debug it and understand from where it is starting. If we go to app underscore start root config, okay, we are defining here what is the default method we need to start. User controller in that login action, login view. That is the default one. It should start when starting the application. Okay. Likewise, you want. So MVC related question, they mostly you won't get in the SharePoint interview. Okay. Sometimes if it is like SharePoint plus a .NET related interview, and interviewer is .NET profile, and he came as he converted as a SharePoint developer. That time he may ask some basic .NET and MVC related question. So if you are okay with it, and you say, or so you can mention. So I have some basic knowledge. I don't have much knowledge. I can, if I get chance, I can work and prove like that. You mention and close. Okay. DB services, and you can see these are the interfaces. So on that day we have discussed, right? So whatever there, I'll show you the view first. View we saw, controller we saw, model is the one. It is like we are defining what are the parameter needs to be communicated between model, sorry, view and the controller. Okay, that is the one. These three parameters needs to be passed for group class. Same way for each class we will be creating separate model. Okay, and this is interface. All the methods we are defining, implementing the methods we are having separate class. Contract iContact helper is the interface. There we have declared all the methods. If we go to this class, you can see this class is inheriting this interface iContact helper, and then defining all the methods, what are the activity we need to do, making SQL connection, and getting the data and processing all the details. Okay. Any doubt in this?
It seems that everything is out here because this is my first time seeing all these syntaxes and all. But
So
the concept is clear.
wait, I didn't get you. Sorry.
Concept is clear, but
Coding wise, it is like
coding
confusing,
wise,
right?
yes, because this is my first time seeing this code,
Yes, first
and
time we are
syntaxes
seeing.
are also different. Some keywords.
Okay, then I'll try to create them. Create new project. ASP.NET Web Application I'm selecting. Okay. In the new project, template name is ASP.NET Web Application and it's .NET Framework. Giving the name. Let me see demo. Selecting all the both the options, web forms and web API, both the options selecting. Web forms is the one like it is like having the UI. UI in the sense when we are designing a web application, we need to select the web forms. If you are not designing the say this is the web page. Say this is one of the web page. Okay, if you want to design this page through .NET Framework MVC, you need to select this web form. Then only you will be having that view. There you can design your own page. Okay. Yeah. If you don't want a web page, you want to have a raw web API. Say for example, uh, uh, you are going to share this web API to other team and say for example, if you are going to consume the web API through SPFX report or some other third party team, some other team will will be consuming the API and you are not going to do anything with your application means you don't need to select web forms. You can select only the web API and click OK. Okay, here I'm selecting both web forms and web API, and this one is Docker support is for Azure related deployment. Okay, and you ignore right now. Okay, this is for unit test. This one also ignore. I click create. See, this default controller, you can see home controller. As I said, there are three folders: model, view, controller, and view is given for home. There is a view index.cshtml controller, home controller is there. If I go to app underscore start, so in the app underscore start, if you go and root config, home is the controller name, action, this is the view name, index, okay, and the controller name home, this one will start, and action index, okay, this is going to be your default page, which will, when you are executing, this will be your default page. So see, I didn't do any change, okay, I directly
Uh,
running the code.
these are all will come by default, right?
Yes, these all will come by default.
Yeah.
So this is the default page. Okay, if you go to that views home index.cshtml, you can see the format. Do class ASP.NET. ASP.NET is free web framework for building great websites. So all the content available here. So for the CSS, they'll be using this class name. Okay. So how it is coming, and you inspect it. If I go and inspect, so where they have written jump, some they have added an CSS file. This CSS file, all the CSS related activities are there. And when you click on about, it will go to same controller page, same view. There is a about.cshtml. We go. This is the area to provide additional information. Thanks for visiting this page. Thanks for visiting this page. It is data pressure. Okay. So if you do want to do something like table or whatever the operation you want to do, view back title is the about dot something. If you want to rename it, okay. So you can like you can place here like here you can also you table. So you can design your own table, and this is about the view. Okay, so if you go to controller, there is nothing direct. Simply you are going to display the whatever the HTML available in the view. So that's why they have written only return view of, that's it. Okay, if you want to pass some value, mm, or like getting data from database, those things and all, if you want to do it, you need to do in this index method. Okay, and if you want to create your own API in the same way, you can write here only in this controller method only you need to write. Add it is running, so same way if you want to add only the API means you can go to web API, MVC API, controller API. This one you can select and add. Okay, there you can write your own API by mentioning HTTP GET or POST, and root these two values you need to pass, and create your own API. And yes, if you don't confuse, you create your this empty .NET web application using MVC, and understand what are the folders are there, how it is communicating, from where it first hit, it will, so where we need to define if you want to change. You understand this flow alone. Okay, uh, when you are working any development project and you want to create your own API, that time you will use it 1 or 2 days. If you sit on it, means you will be familiar with it. Okay, you don't get too much panic or confused. There is, this is large topic. Okay, when you are daily working on it, and you will be familiar with it, each folder, what it is, what it will do, each folder, if we need to do, where we need to go and where we need to touch, those things only it will be confusing for you. Okay, so you first for right now you create your own this empty application. You understand MVC concept, and go through what is MVC, what is model, view, controller, how to design view, how to call API from view, and how to integrate script. To these three things you understand, it is fine for right now. Okay,
Okay.
MVC pattern. Creating API, calling API, update view, mm, update view using API result. You go through it and let me know if you have any doubt. Okay.
Okay.
This is one of the topic I wanted to cover. Promise SharePoint. So this is one of the interview questions they will ask. Okay, I told you right in the JavaScript and all, we'll be using execute query async only. We can't use execute query.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So execute query async means it won't. So execute query async. Say for example, I'm writing this line. Execute query async this line I'm writing. Below to that I'm doing some operation console dot log. Okay. So this line won't wait this to get completed. Okay. And this line, it will start executing it automatically. It will go to the next line. It won't wait for this line to execute and complete. Okay, automatically. That is the asynchronous. Okay. So the interviewer will ask how to make that as synchronous. Okay, instead of making having it as asynchronous, I want to execute script one by one. I mean, after completing asynchronous only, the next line should after completing executing this line only, I want to execute the next line. How you will achieve this? This is the question they may ask. Okay, for that in JavaScript there is a concept called deferred and promise. These two are the keywords we can achieve using deferred and promise objects in JavaScript. And using deferred and promise. Okay, and that's what they have explained in this uh, article. You can see execute asynchronous in the JavaScript diagram. We will use execute asynchronous model. Not wait for success or failure to complete. We need to make synchronously. This is the normal JavaScript they have executed. Okay, get values. They are trying to retrieve list item from this tutorial list, and they didn't do promise and defer and promise and all. Okay, Okay, you can see how they are using deferred and promise in the second method. They are declaring variable using defer. In that, at the end, they use defer dot promise. Okay, for this there are cancel also there. Cancel they would have given in the failure method. Sorry, reject. Okay, in this base method, see, this is the retrieve list item method where we have written our own camel query and writing execute query async. Okay, in this they have written promise of they have used defer dot promise of. Okay, this is one of the one. In the success and failure method, they are closing this deferred objects. Okay, how they are closing? If you see defer dot resolve of, okay, resolving that object. Okay, here we are not resolving. Here we are rejecting in the failure method. Defer dot reject of. Okay, and these three are like simple. You can directly use. You can define your own variable deferred using this deferred of method, and at the end of each method, first parent method, you need to pass promise of, and that consecutive success and failure method, you need to resolve and reject. Okay, so if you pass this promise means, so based on this resolve and reject only, the next line after to the execute query will get executed. Okay, you need to write after this execute query. If you write means it will make your code to wait till this success and failure method to complete. After that only, if you write any line after this only, it will execute. Okay, you go through this code, and also you try to see some other examples in the internet as well. Okay, you understand it, and they sometimes they may ask this question: how you will manage this? Okay. Mm, that's it. Uh, Today, you have any query?
No queries. I'll try this one.
Yes, you try this. Yeah, today we have covered three topics like
Yeah.
API manage throttling, creating custom API using MVC, and deferred and promise.
Mm. From when we start this SPFX?
We'll see. Yeah, I today I'll check whether there is any other topic pending classes. Okay. If not, we'll start even tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. If we go to the SPFX means we won't find time to cover these stuff. That's why I'm
Yeah.
trying to cover all the missing stuff, whatever. So like deferred and promise if there is some other topics available. So that if there is nothing, it means we'll proceed with the SPFX.
Okay.